Gashouse Gang on KMOX.
You have a better lighting and production team than I do over there.
I don't think so.
You like
we have
my
the
lighting
same
now?
light. You know what I've got?
I just moved the monitor over. It looks better.
Tom, I'll tell you what it is. It's natural light. Can't beat natural light.
I know.
And I got the window facing me.
That is true.
Yeah.
Good point. I've got the window in the background.
Buddy, I think you look great. What are you worried about?
I'm not worried about anything. How you doing, bud? You a little nervous for the Bears tonight?
Oh, God. Why'd you bring them up? Tonight's going to suck.
Because I know how to tap into your emotions.
Buddy. Here's what I think is going to happen.
Yes.
I think they win tonight.
Okay.
And then I think they probably don't win again until week 6.
I think Scott Jago's doing. How about the Bills? How many of you turned off the Ravens-Bills game and said, Ravens done, week 1, Bills couldn't handle them?
You know what? I did not. I had it on in the background. I was watching with somebody, and we were kind of not paying attention. And then I said at one point, you see what's going on here? In the fourth quarter, I'm like, are you watching? Are you noticing what's happening here? Because they were making that comeback. The statistical craziness of the game, the fact that take that back, 4 teams since 2000 had been down 15 points or more with 4.5 minutes left to go and come back to win. 4 times that's happened. Last night, that was one of them. There have been, in the history of the sport, 277 times a team had scored 40 points and had 235 yards rushing on the ground total and won. 277 times. Only one team has lost, and it was Baltimore.
Wow.
So the record for teams with 40 plus points scored, 235 yards on the ground is 277-1.
John Harbaugh's got to be beside himself. And Derrick Henry.
You know what, though? They have a lot of those kinds of losses in the last few years.
They're really good. I mean, you got Lamar Jackson, you have Derrick Henry.
Yeah.
I had just texted my friends and said, could I make the case that Derrick Henry is the greatest running back of all time? If you look at his college and pro numbers, stack them up against some of the best, he is on pace to be one of the best of all time. Now, that all time, you're talking Jim Brown, Walter Payton, Barry Sanders, Emmitt Smith gets named in there, of course. Those guys, won and won big, and Henry has not won the grand prize of the Lombardi Trophy, but he was a heck of a college running back. Yeah. He was a legendary high school running back, and he's carried it on into college, and then he puts the ball on the ground, and the Bills take advantage, and they end up winning that game. I actually turned the game off as 40-25, and I'm like, well, there you have it. Click, and I started getting ready for bed. It was a long day. I was at NASCAR, which is I'll tell you about. Great day at the racetrack, and then I end up getting one of those on my phone. I'm like, what the heck? And they're like, Bills are back in it. Yeah. So I put the game on, and lo and behold, the Bills win the ball game.
Didn't even have to take it to overtime. Their win probability with 8.5 to go was 1.1%. That was their win probability. And they came back and won that thing. Really, really fun game last night. Awesome. And, we were kind of talking about this during the Chris and Amy show, that the NFL is, for a lot of people in St. Louis, dead. It's dead to them after what they did with the Rams and allowing them to leave town. But it's amazing how the local TV ratings and the consumption of the NFL in St. Louis still really damn high compared to a lot of other cities, even cities with NFL teams. So people in St. Louis are still paying attention to that league, even though they've got the sour taste.
We are, I believe, still the biggest market without a team. I think
it's easy.
Yeah. Chiefs are the number 1 watch team in the area, but I would say the Bears have to be somewhat close on the Illinois side. Packers, Cowboys, Steelers. Who am I missing? I'm sure
there's some Titans fans around here. I don't know why, though.
Yeah.
Why would you want to be a Tennessee Titans fan?
But it's just, it's a melting pot of NFL fans, and it's an entertaining product. I don't have a team. I have decided and made the choice to not have a team, but I like the product. Obviously, I play fantasy football. I'm in 2 different leagues. I talk about the games on Sunday. I pick the games on Sunday. I pay attention to the league, used to cover the league, covered it for a long time. Loved being part of that scene. So I do pay attention to it. I'm a much bigger college football fan. I mean, college football is my passion. I love college football. Most of my life, my teams have not been good, but I love college football, and my teams are good now, those being Indiana and Missouri. And I'll throw Miami of Ohio in there, even though they're 0-2. My daughter goes there, so they're now my third team. I love college football, but the NFL I respect it a lot.
Yeah.
And I will say this, it is very entertaining. I mean, that game last night, you can't do much better in sports than that.
Tom, let me offer you something. As a person who right now feels like they are without a team, let me offer you an option.
Okay. I've had
if you want to feel like you're not a poser, right? You can't jump on the Chiefs bandwagon now.
I would not.
You can't jump on the Packers bandwagon now because they're probably going to be really good. There's one team that you can follow that will end up hurting you more than making you happy.
The Cleveland Browns?
No. You can become a Bears fan for free right now. You can become a Bears fan for free right now, and all it will cost you is some heartache every now and then, and that will make you a true fan. So you could do that. And if it just so happens that they end up being really good and Caleb Williams is really good, you get to say you were in on the ground floor.
Buddy,
you can't wait till he's good. You cannot wait till Caleb becomes a superstar before you jump on the bandwagon. Do it right now.
I drafted Caleb Williams on my fantasy team.
Yeah.
That's where it ends. I love
never started.
I love Chicago. It's a great city. You're my buddy, and I respect you. I'll follow the Bears, but I'm not going to be a Bears fan. I'll tell you, the only team that could possibly sway me at this point, and they're good, so it's going to sound like I'm jumping on a bandwagon, but as I recall, they're the only team that voted against the Rams moving to Los Angeles. They're the only team that supported St. Louis, and they happen to be 45 minutes from my daughter's campus. They are the Cincinnati Bengals. That would be the only team that could sway me at this point, but not even they can do it.
They got a fun quarterback.
They do, and a great wide receiver. I love Jamar Chase.
Yeah.
But no. But the NFL was great, and then college football. Hey, Mizzou fans, look. I mean, you've got something here. It's not a dominant team by any stretch, and they had their issues against Kansas, but Mizzou beat KU, beat them, and came back 3 different times. And I think the biggest takeaway you can have, Eli Drinkowitz coached a very good game. Perbula, very good passer. I really like him. Ahmad Hardy, excellent running back. Love the receivers. Defense has its moments, but that atmosphere is back. I was not there. It's not ever left necessarily, but everybody who was there told me that place was electric for Faroe Field on week 2 against Kansas. They wanted to take down Kansas. They had to, and they did. And so I'm happy for all my Mizzou friends, and I grew up a Mizzou fan, so I do care about them a lot, and they're ranked 25th in the nation. They cracked the top 25.
They did. They are now 25, as you mentioned. Fighting Illini, good for them. They've cracked the top 10. They're number 9.
Let me tell you about them. Number 9 in the nation. They are legit. I watched that game, too, against Duke, and they're down by a point, and I don't know what Brett Bielema said to them at halftime, but they absolutely dominated the second half, and Duke completely cratered in a game that they could have had some things gone their way, and everything went against them. They fumbled the ball. They couldn't do anything. They turned the ball over. They looked atrocious, and Illinois took full advantage of them. Illinois is a legit team. Now, they're going to beat Western Michigan this Saturday. Illinois is going to be 3-0. Indiana is going to beat Indiana State this Friday night to go 3-0, setting up a September 20th.
Sycamores are tough, though.
Showdown. Yeah. In Bloomington. Illinois at Indiana.
So I am the opposite Tom Ackerman. I don't have a college team other than my Redbirds, Illinois State Redbirds, but they're an FCS school. So
I did one of their games once upon a time. Fun
did you?
Time. Coach Spack.
Yeah. Oh, Brock Spack.
Yeah.
My Redbirds, by the way, I should mention, number 4 in the country in the FCS coaches poll.
What?
That ain't bad. That ain't bad.
Board.
Right? Oh, I'm totally on board.
Are.
But in terms of the FBS, the big boys, right? I don't really have a team. I was a Notre Dame poser for a long time. I still have some Notre Dame stuff. If they're in the national championship game, I'll throw the cap on. but I don't really care all that much. So it was, however, really cool on Saturday afternoon. Beautiful day in St. Louis. Went out to an establishment, sat on the patio. The amount of people who were invested in Mizzou KU while that game was going on, that was, man, that's a lot of fun to have a local team. And we're going to call Mizzou a local team because so many people here went to Missouri. It's fun. It's fun to have a good football team that people care about. That rivalry in particular, a very big deal to have that back for the first time in years. Also a really, really cool thing. And I looking forward to that moving forward, and looking forward to Mizzou having a fun year. I don't think they're ultimately going to be like a top 10 team or anything, but they can be fun. They can be fun to watch. And that's kind of what you're looking for if you're a Tigers fan, isn't it? Just be fun to watch.
I think Mizzou fans want to be a playoff team. I think they want
They could do that. I think you're right. They could do that.
I think, they think we're in the SEC and we're now ranked. So we got a shot. I mean, they're going to face Louisiana on the 13th, and then they're going to have a showdown. You talk about a showdown. September 20th against South Carolina. South Carolina is legit. South Carolina right now is ranked 11, and Missouri's 25. Same situation. You got a higher ranked team coming into your house, and that is going to happen in week 4. Illinois at Indiana, South Carolina at Missouri. College game day, I'd have to look and see who's playing on that week 4. Let me take a quick peek, because College game day might want to consider one of those two games to put their show on. And South Carolina at Missouri, Illinois at Indiana, both will be, I would assume, ranked there as long as they don't slip up. And as I look at these others, I don't know, man. Oklahoma, Auburn, they're not going to do that because Oklahoma just hosted it against Michigan. I see one of those two teams as being a College game day site. I really do.
It's Illinois, Indiana, or the Mizzou game,
Mizzou, South Carolina. I mean, there are no other games. Michigan at Nebraska, maybe because of the two brands, could be considered, but it seems like Michigan gets a lot of that College game day love.
You talk about week 4.
Yeah. I'm looking at it right now. I think you got a shot, Mizzou fans.
Oklahoma, Auburn.
Yeah, but Oklahoma just had one. Were they?
Yeah, I guess they wouldn't do it again.
Weren't they just at Oklahoma? Saturday.
Yeah.
So anyway, I think this is a lot of fun. I love talking football with you in the first segment because it was a great weekend. I mean, there was a lot going on here in St. Louis. You had NASCAR.
Yep. You
had PGA Tour champions. You had City playing. You had the Bronze Boot. You had the Cardinals Hall of Fame weekend, which we'll talk to John Rooney about in just a bit. And we'll get into some baseball next segment. But this was week 1 of NFL action, and it was a great college football weekend locally. Nationally, it was terrible. I don't think there were any great games out there between ranked teams. You had Iowa State, not two ranked teams. You had Oklahoma, Michigan. A handful of others. But locally, those are two big games that they got through, Mizzou and Illinois. So congratulations to our listeners there. And you have, this is one of the few markets, very, very few, where you have the SEC and the Big Ten in this market. So that was a big weekend and a lot of great football to be had. Let's take a quick timeout. We'll come back. We'll talk some baseball. And then at 12:30, the voice of the Cardinals, John Rooney, will be with us to discuss Hall of Fame weekend. That was very special. And we'll take, of course, all of your listener questions and comments on our live stream, which is on X, Facebook, and YouTube. We will be right back.
Named one of Newsweek's world's best hospitals for 2025, Anderson Hospital is your hospital for life, delivering exceptional, compassionate care to families across the Metro East. From emergency services to specialized treatments, our dedicated team supports your health at every stage. Experience world-class care close to home. Discover the difference at andersonhospital.org.
This is Debbie Monterey, and I really want you to know about the trusted services that Ever True Anywhere Care provides to older adults who want to age successfully at home. Formerly Lutheran Senior Services, their team of experts specializes in orthopedic care. They also have licensed nurses for in-home support and trained caregivers to help with household tasks like meal prep and medication reminders. Call 314-597-6498 to learn more or visit evertrueanywherecare.org. evertrueanywherecare.org.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today. See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. One discount per household.
This is Justin Brown with Krinz Financial Group. For over 6 decades, we've helped St. Louis families and businesses plan with purpose and live with confidence. As retirement approaches, one question matters most. How will you replace your paycheck? With decades of experience, we've helped retirees turn uncertainty into clarity through personalized income planning and steady guidance. Our proactive strategies are designed so you can enjoy the retirement you worked your lifetime for, with clarity, confidence, and peace of mind. Your goals, our mission. Start today at kfgadvisors.com.
Securities offered through Raymond James Financial Services. Member FINRA/SIPC. Krinz Financial Group is not a broker-dealer.
Your garage door is always there for you, rain or shine. Are you taking your garage door for granted? Is it screeching and whining for attention? Trust Overhead Door Company of St. Louis to keep your garage door reliable. Maybe the old weather stripping needs replaced to keep out the cold and hot air. Call Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. Trusted here since 1926. For same-day service, call 314-781-5200 and schedule online at overheaddoorsstlouis.com.
If you owe the IRS, you have a legal issue, and you need the Lance Drury Law Firm. We'll protect your rights. Log on at lancedrurylaw.com.
It's Tom Ackerman for Ophthalmology Associates, the doctor's doctors, 314-966-5000 or online at youridoc.com.
You asked, we delivered. KMOX, now on FM. Crystal clear sound at 104.1 FM.
The pitch. Walker lines it. It goes down the left field line. One run's going to score. Hampson's going to score. That's a Red Bird winner. A walk-off. Light it up in downtown St. Louis.
I was very happy for Jordan Walker in that moment. As the Cardinals won that ball game, Jordan released some emotion, and I think that the dugout exploded in support of Jordan. With Chris Ranji, Tom Ackerman back with you, Gashouse Gang, our producers are Matt Pajeski and Frank Ladd. John Rooney's coming up. Jordan Walker, and John had the call there, a great moment for him. He hits one that he didn't know right away that it was a hit. It went off of Chapman's glove. It deflected in the outfield. The runners score, and the Cardinals win the ball game. And for Walker, it does break an 0 for 25. And Chris, it was a tough week. I mean, I'm sure it got back to him what was said on this show. Brant Brown and the Cardinals hitting coach and Ollie Marmol, the Cardinals manager, made headlines by basically openly discussing in a public setting here on this show that they were challenging his preparation, his aptitude to move forward as a big league player and what he needed to be great. It was left all out there, and it's a tough situation, but I felt like they felt like it had to be done.
And I don't have a problem with that being a last resort on the part of a coaching staff. It can't be the first thing they do. If they've got an issue with a player, it can't be the first, second, third, or even fourth thing they do. It's got to be an absolute last resort, that you have tried everything. You've tried to break through to him. Maybe you've done it over the course of months, if not years, and it's just not sinking in. I do think the gravity, the weight of having it be out there in public could have a positive effect, that it could be a real wake-up call, like, oh, damn, okay, maybe I do need to get my stuff together. It could backfire too. But I almost feel like if you're a frustrated coach, what do you have to lose? If a guy is not doing what you feel like he needs to do to be successful, to further his career, because the results on the field haven't been there, what else are you supposed to do besides that? That's a nuclear option. You go to that last. And I don't have an issue with it. Again, I'd have a problem if it was the first thing they did, but that's not what was going on here. And of course, we don't know all the intricacies of what really goes on behind the scenes, the sort of prep work that's being done. And I'd like to make it clear that I don't have a reason to think that Jordan Walker doesn't care or isn't trying. It just might be that his process that he has been used to his whole life as a baseball player is just not working. And it's really difficult to get a guy like that out of his comfort zone, because you always tend to fall back on what you're used to, even if what you're used to doesn't work, right? So I feel like it's okay. I feel like it's okay sometimes to use the press, use the weight of public knowledge to maybe help light a fire with a player who's just not quite getting it. And that's what it sounds like is happening. And it doesn't bother me. And I know for some people it does. Some people don't like the fact that he had been called out publicly by his coaching staff. Hey, I don't care, because they are trying to get the most out of him, because they know he could be a star in St. Louis. So if this is a way to do it, awesome. Will it work? I don't know. But it seems to me they have tried a lot of other things first.
That is almost the exact definition of coaching, is getting the best out of somebody that they don't see in themselves. And they are trying to do that. And perhaps they thought that he could handle that public criticism. Remember, managers and coaches have been doing this since the beginning of sports and media. Whitey Herzog used to do it in certain situations. He would do it in a way that got a player motivated. But it was Whitey Herzog. Nobody would blink an eye because it's Whitey Herzog. He had been around for a long time. Tony La Russa had ways. He would protect his players, but he had ways of motivating players, and they didn't always love him either. And I think that Ollie Marmol tried this earlier in his career with Tyler O'Neill, and it did not come off very well for Ollie publicly when he questioned O'Neill's hustle. And as it turned out, he did the same thing to Harrison Bader, and it did work well. Bader said, he's right. That's on me. I'm not doing my job. I did notice that Walker, after that game, he talked to Mike Claiborne on the field, which was really fun, and they were throwing, the water on him and all that stuff. Then he goes into the clubhouse, and reporters were interviewing him, and I heard in that scrum him say something along the lines of, it's really exciting, and then tomorrow I'm going to get here early and get back to work on what I need to do to be better. I was like, aha, bang, there you go.
And here's the other thing about the public criticism, which I wouldn't say you'd call it. It's not that the public is criticizing him. It's that there was criticism of him done publicly. The thing that we should all keep in mind is that these players, they're going to have to learn to deal with that. And you want to coddle a young player to an extent, but at some point they better be able to handle public criticism of any kind, whether it's from their own coach, manager, or from the fans, press, whoever. They better be able to learn to handle it, because being a major leaguer is a really tough job. And it's not the worst thing in the world to be publicly criticized. There are going to be much worse, more challenging things that happen to you in your career. So you better be able to handle that, right? And I don't think that what the coaching staff, what Ollie Marmol did, was immediately throw him to the wolves. You wouldn't do that when you first call him up at 21 years old. You might do it a couple of years later if you feel like after all of this effort, he still isn't quite getting it the way you want him to get it. Then you go that route. But the other thing to keep in mind is he is an adult, and he's going to have to learn to deal with stuff like this.
Yes, he is.
Can't coddle him forever.
That is 100% right. That is Chris Ranji. I'm Tom Ackerman. This is the Gashouse Gang on KMOX. Let me tell you about St. Charles Automotive and the great people at Genesis of St. Charles. You're looking for a new car, look no further than a Genesis. They are awesome. You seen them out there on the road? They are slick. You ever seen one parked in a parking lot and you just, ooh, what is that? That's a Genesis. They're very nice. They're luxury vehicles that are available at genesisofstcharles.com, but I highly suggest you experience the luxury service at the state-of-the-art facility located at 5601 Veterans Memorial Parkway. You've probably seen it driving off I-70 Mid-Rivers Mall Drive. It's right there. Just check them out. Go in there. Tell them I sent you in. And you'll learn about a Genesis. You'll test drive it. And if you want them to deliver it to your home, you can test drive it from home as well. Just go to genesisofstcharles.com. genesisofstcharles.com.
Attention. Have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers. So don't wait. If you owe $10, $20, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-207-4545. That's 800-207-4545. Once again, that's 800-207-4545.
It is 73 degrees in St. Louis. The AccuWeather real feel of 83. Better enjoy it because it's going to get hot and crappy by the end of the week. The weather is brought to you by FanDuel Sports Network. Cardinals fans, FanDuel Sports Network is your TV and streaming home of the Cardinals. Subscribe directly to FanDuel Sports Network and stream the Cardinals or watch through your TV provider. Visit FanDuelSportsNetwork.com for details.
Hey guys, Dave Glover here from the Dave Glover Show. So, what is my show? My show is 4 different people living 4 different lives, all coming together every day between 1 p.m. and 5 p.m. to talk about life, actual life, not so much headlines or did you see what Trump did today or XYZ. Never predictable because I never know what I'm going to talk about from one segment to the next. So it truly is unique and unpredictable. Join us.
104.1 FM, KMOX.
My house has a new glow. I love my windows. Universal Windows Direct.
Hey guys, Glover here. Right now, buy 2 windows and get 2 free from Universal Windows Direct. No interest for 3 whole years. Call 314-334-2522. Like me, you'll be saying, I love my windows.
I love my windows. They've got that brand new home effect. Universal Windows Direct.
Today, the Cards, the Mariners.
Emlyn Total Access, 745.
Cardinals Radio, 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Now, the John Rooney Conversation on KMOX. Sponsored by Missouri Farm Bureau Insurance. We are Missouri Farm Bureau Insurance. And if you're a Missourian, we're for you.
Left-handed against Riley O'Brien. Ground ball hit to Sajasi. To second out. On to first. Double play. And a Redbird winner.
The Cardinals have won 3 consecutive series. Whoa. They are back to 500 after beating the Giants yesterday. Joining us is that voice right there, the voice of the Cardinals, John Rooney, back on the Gashouse Gang. Hello, John.
Good morning. How's everybody?
Things are great. Cardinals taking on the Mariners and Cal Raleigh, who has been just on fire for that team. Looking forward to they destroyed the Braves yesterday. John, just your overall feelings of this past weekend with the Cardinals knocking off the Giants and continuing to show some life.
Well, it took a while, Tom, as they did everything in the 9th inning they possibly could do and came back with nobody out, won the game on Friday. And then yesterday took advantage of a pitcher who didn't throw a sweeper in the strike zone very often, yet he struck out I think 8. But they finally put their game plan together and got 4 runs in 1 inning, and it happened to be enough. And the Cardinal pitching out of the bullpen has been really, really good. It's been fun to watch. And that is one of the reasons the Cardinals were able to win 2 out of 3 with an offense that's really shorthanded and has been for a while without Arenado and without Brendan Donovan, and certainly with Burleson on the injured list, but hopefully he'll be back. And we just might get Donovan back pretty soon as well. So, no, it was quite a weekend, and this is a team giving it everything they have right now.
Glad you brought up the bullpen because I think it's been really impressive what they have been able to do despite trading away a couple of guys at the deadline. It doesn't always work out like that, John, but this team has still been able to keep it intact back there.
Well, Ryan Elsley's having a terrible time of it in New York, and the sports media is all over him. Things are working out for him well there, but I think the bullpen has been better since the moves, and that's with good young arms like Swanson and what we've seen from Riley O'Brien. Now, Riley's not a young pitcher, but he is in terms of major league service. So, yes, the bullpen has been the strength of this Cardinal team, and they were able to score enough yesterday and play good enough defense behind that.
The Cardinals got the win. John, we also witnessed Hall of Fame weekend here in St. Louis. Al Roboski, Edgar Renteria, and posthumously Walt Jocketty inducted into the Cardinals Hall of Fame. Wanted to get your thoughts on that wonderful ceremony and those three gentlemen.
Well, I really enjoyed the speech by Joey Jocketty, and I remember it was Joey's birthday in 2006 when the Cardinals beat San Diego, the first game of that playoff series, and then went on to rally and win it all in 2006. And my memory of being in Tony's manager's office at Shea Stadium when Wainwright dropped the curveball on Beltran for the last out, I thought Walt, who was there in the office with me, was going to jump and hit the ceiling. It was a great moment, and just a great human being, Walt Jocketty, and a wonderful family, and that was pretty special. And Edgar Renteria was just a brilliant player throughout his career and made a great contribution to the Cardinals teams, and thus was honored. And Al Roboski, he gave a wonderful speech, and we had Al on during the game, and all of us in the radio booth and radio TV and Cardinal Nation so happy for Al and his induction.
You know, just the idea that the Cardinals have this Hall of Fame. Other teams have a Hall of Fame, but from what I have seen in the past with other teams, they don't really quite do it up. Not all of them do the way the Cardinals do, and the ceremony and the red jackets. And then, of course, having the red jackets be there present on opening day the following year. You know, it's just, it really is something special the Cardinals do and the way they do it with their Hall of Famers.
Well, we really don't have a game if we don't tie in today with our history. And just being there at the luncheon before the ceremony, you still miss Red Schoendienst and Whitey and Stan, and you miss Bob Gibson and Lou Brock, and Jackie Brock was there for the ceremony, and I know that meant a lot to Al Roboski. You miss those people, but that's what's tied baseball together for so many generations. And I told Mr. DeWitt, it's a wonderful thing you did in starting the Cardinals Hall of Fame, and it's a great history lesson, if you will, as we need to remember those players as we move along in time. But no, it's a very special thing.
John, last thing, we had a dedicated viewer of the show on YouTube wanting to ask if we had any thoughts on the passing of Davey Johnson, and I wanted to pass that along to you because my memories of Davey Johnson are managing those 86 world champion Mets and being the big rival. But boy, was he a player, John, before that, a world champion in his own right with the Orioles.
And that he was, and he hit home runs, wasn't he, in that group with Atlanta that hit the 40 home runs with Hank Aaron and Darrell Johnson, or Darrell Evans, in that group. Davey Johnson and I shared the same birthday. He was 12 years older than me, but I kind of took a liking to him when he was playing just because we had the same birthday and followed him through those years. But he brought them back against the Mets, against the Red Sox with the Mets, with the ball going through Bill Buckner's legs in '86, and he had a great career. And you're saddened by one of your childhood heroes passing on, and it's kind of the way I felt when Rocky Colavito passed on. Rocky was one of my favorite players early, and right along with those 64 Cardinal team players that we've lost over the years, but they give us so many great memories, and we need to hold them dear. But on top of being wonderful players, they were great people too.
John, we love having you on the show. Thank you for doing it, and we look forward to seeing what the Cardinals can do against Seattle.
All right. Well, hopefully they're all worn out from the 18 runs yesterday down in Atlanta, and we'll get 2 out of 3, if not all 3 here.
Yeah, that long flight, it didn't get much longer than Atlanta to Seattle, so we'll see. Thank you, John.
All right, guys. Take care.
To have John Rooney, the voice of the Cardinals, with us on KMOX, the Gashouse Gang, sponsored by Saliga Heating and Cooling, SaligaHeatingandCooling.com, and by Anderson Hospital. We'll take your questions and get you into a couple of other topics moving forward, including the biggest celebrity I've seen in St. Louis in some time.
Oh,
I will tell you who was at Worldwide Technology Raceway.
Oh, do I know about this?
We all know it was Bill Murray.
Yeah, Bill Murray was there. I knew that.
There was someone even bigger.
You're kidding.
Back after this.
We are Missouri Farm Bureau Insurance, and we're here for all of life's wins. Like when you get a new car, or new boat, or new driver, or when your son moves out, but your mom moves in, or you find out you're expecting again, or when one rental property turns into 2, then 20, or you realize they're all in Tornado Alley. Life is full of life events, so call your Missouri Farm Bureau Insurance agent or visit mofbinsurance.com to find an agent near you, and we'll make sure you have the right coverage for each of life's wins.
We are Missouri Farm Bureau Insurance, and we're for the people of Missouri, in good times and in bad. We're for Missouri families and Missouri communities. We're for giving back to those communities and lifting people up. And when Missouri weather rips through our state, we're for helping put back the pieces. We're for brighter days and new tomorrows. We are Missouri Farm Bureau Insurance. And if you live in Missouri, we're for you.
Fairwinds River's Edge is more than a place to live, it's a place to belong. Come see why we have been voted Best Independent Senior Living Community for 4 years in a row by U.S. News & World Report. We think you'll like it here, and the experts agree. Come see us for yourself. Call to schedule a tour with lunch or to RSVP for our senior prom on September 24th with live entertainment by the Backstreet Cruisers. Find us online at fairwindsriversedge.com.
At CertaPro Painters, we know that a happy place comes in many colors, like ones that inspire a sense of wonder, or a new flavor that makes life just a little bit sweeter, or one to celebrate those moments that lift you to new heights. We can reawaken any space to make your happy place your home. CertaPro Painters. That's painting happy. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. Contractor license and registration information is available at CertaPro.com.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Put it all together and you've got what you need to turn things all the way up. Getting started is simple. Just go to hims.com/joy to start your free online visit. Through Hims, you can access ED treatments including pills, chews, and more. 100% online. No office visits, no pharmacy lines. Just fill out a simple intake form and a licensed medical provider will determine if treatment's right for you. If prescribed, it ships free and discreetly to your door. Find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy, HIMS.com/JOY.
Frank, did you get the mail?
Coupon, Medicare, AARP. Oh, wait, this one says open immediately.
First one in the trash.
Every day we're bombarded with messages that we don't care about. Problem is, there might be an important message in there that affects you, like retirement. For example, on September 23rd and 25th, Steve All of the All Financial Group will be hosting a Taxes in Retirement seminar at Stone Summit. From the big beautiful bill to taxes on your Social Security, Steve will cover it. It's a complimentary event, but seating is limited, so reserve your seat today. Call 636-230-8824 or online at yourmoneymattersstl.com.
What about this coupon for a new lawn service?
We live in a condo.
So?
On the 3rd floor. Mom always said I shouldn't have married you.
Investment advisory products and services made available through Impact Partnership Wealth, LLC, IPW, a registered investment advisor. Neither the firm nor its agents or representatives may give tax or legal advice. Individuals should consult a qualified professional or guidance before making any purchasing decisions.
Now, 90 and 60. A look back at the latest St. Louis City SC match. Presented by Woods Basement Systems, Inc.
Ball up, back to Leuven. Pompey straight on. He rips one. He scores! FC Dallas just moments really after Pompey's goal ties it up 1-1. Follow lifts it. Oh, what a crazy shot from McSorley. Almost can openers it in. Falling with a scissor-like kick, but it's stopped by a diving Jackson. St. Louis City and FC Dallas will finish in a tie.
Up next, City SC faces the Montreal Impact Saturday night. Kick at 6:30 on Y98.
Tripping over uneven concrete? Don't replace it, raise it with concrete leveling. Call the all things basementy experts, Wood Basement Systems, for a free estimate at 618-249-5503 or learn more at woodsbasementsystems.com.
Now back to the Gashouse Gang, sponsored by Saliga Heating and Cooling and by Anderson Hospital on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Cardinal baseball tonight against the Seattle Mariners. The Cardinals will play at 8:40 tonight. Miles Michaelis is the starting pitcher. And so he will, I'm assuming Cal Raleigh will be in the lineup, is going to have to face the big dumper, who is just destroying pitching. It doesn't matter who you are. He will take you deep. And yesterday in an 18-2 win, the Mariners scored 8 runs in the third inning. I had Cardinals pregame yesterday, and in the pregame show, I said it's 10-1 Seattle over Atlanta. The game had basically just started. They already had 8 runs in the third inning, but Raleigh came alive late in the ball game, and the Mariners slugger hit another home run. He hit his 53rd home run of the season. That came in the 9th inning. In an 18-2 blowout of the Braves. Seattle had 18 runs on 20 hits. 27 years ago today, Mark McGwire hit his 62nd home run, September 8th, 1998.
Oh, you're right. I remember that vividly. I was in college when it happened.
Yeah, I was just out of college. I was working at KMOX, and I was credentialed to cover the Cardinals. I was covering them in 97 and 98, but Major League Baseball took over the credentialing for that game. Well, the games leading up to it, because it was so big, they could only fit so many people in the press box. So I was out, and we had some big boys ahead of me, Ron Jacober, Randy Carricker, Dan McLaughlin. So I was kind of the odd man out on that. And so I was looking for a ticket for when he was on the cusp of hitting 62. I worked a remote as a producer for 61. I remember I was at City Museum. And when he hit 61, I was sitting there at the remote hearing it over the speakers. I heard Jack's call, and I thought, I have to be there for 62. Like, I love working this remote, but I want to be in the ballpark. So for 62, I went out and I did the old put my finger up for one ticket. I was just desperate for a ticket. And this guy came up to me and he goes, "Man, you're never going to get a ticket out here. It starts at like $200, you know?" Back then it was a lot of cash in 1998. So I'm like walking down the street. My buddies are calling me like, "Hey, are you going to come watch this game with us?" And I'm like, "Yeah," kind of resigned to it. So I start walking to my car and I hear this Ackerman. And it was an old friend of mine from college. A couple of, if I hadn't seen him in at least 2 years, Rich Radcliffe, if he's listening. I always love telling the story of Rich because I hadn't seen him. I'm like, he's like, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm looking for a ticket." And he goes, "I got an extra."
Come on.
He said, $13. Is that cool? I'm like, dude, I'm buying you beers all night. So we sat to the left of Big Mac Land and he hit the home run, number 62.
Right below you.
And I only knew that he hit it because of the crowd reaction, because it was a 341-foot shot that barely cleared the fence. And that was one of the great sports moments. And I know since then we've learned that Mark did steroids and all
I
of
don't
the,
care.
It doesn't take the emotions away from the moment at all.
I say that all the time. It just does not matter to me because you cannot, as you said, take away the fun of that summer and the attention, just everything that went along with it. And because look, the dude's hitting, and that was the shortest home run of the season, the record breaker. I was there when he hit that 545-foot one that hit the Post-Dispatch sign above the center field backdrop, the hitter's backdrop. And I was interning for KMOX. I was in the press box when it happened, and he hit it so high we couldn't see where it went because our field of vision was cut off. And I thought, man, this is incredible. No amount of HGH is going to help you hit home runs like that. The dude was just a beast anyway. So I don't care about any of that stuff because there were pitchers on it too.
It helps you recover.
It helps
quickly.
you recover. Pitchers were using it. It wasn't just hitters. So I do not care. It does not take my enjoyment away from that summer or anything Barry Bonds did after the fact. And, Barry and Roger Clemens all should be in the Hall of Fame as far as I'm concerned. Anyway,
well,
so
I disagree
love it.
with that, but I did enjoy that summer and that season and the McGuire Sosa home run race, and what a time that was, breaking Roger Maris's record and then going on to hit 70, which we thought would never be touched. And of course, Bonds, as you said, did it, hitting 73. But what an incredibly special time that was. Hard to believe that was 27 years ago today. It was also J.D. Drew's big league debut. And Ray Lankford hit a home run in that game, as I recall. Just an electric time. Just brought baseball back completely.
Yeah. Remember how all the Cubs were Steve Traxel was mad at the rest of his teammates for hugging McGuire around the bases?
Yeah, come on, man.
Like they were all bro hugging him and dapping him up, and we were like, and then Steve Traxel was not mad. You're part of history, man. Just go with it.
Hey, Traxel, next time, why don't you speed the game? They probably created the pitch clock because of Traxel.
For him.
He was the human rain delay.
Also, we're gonna fight about that Hall of Fame thing someday, you and me.
I'll go all day if
we
you
don't
want.
have time now.
No, it's totally fine. Someday they'll all get in because the next generation of voters and committee, they're going to look at it and say, this is ridiculous. Why did you guys keep them out?
Yeah.
And they're going to get in. I hope that they, are all, we'll see. I don't, it's a long list, honestly. But anyway, we can get into all that later. But yeah, that was amazing. September 8th, 1998. But Raleigh's at 53. How many will he get? He's not going to get 20 more to tie Bonds, but he could get into the 60s easily. I mean, this guy's capable of hitting 3 in a game.
He can hit 7. Well, they probably got about 17, 18 left to go.
Yeah. McGuire was in town this weekend. He was one of the Red Jackets there to honor Renteria and Raboski and Walt Jocketty, who he loved very much. And I agree with John. Joey Jocketty's speech was excellent. McGuire was not the biggest star in St. Louis, though, however, over the weekend. Bill Murray was the official starter, I guess you would say, the grand marshal of the NASCAR race, the Enjoy Illinois 300. Got to meet him. Curtis Francois, the owner of the track. I do work on the side for that raceway and do some things for them. And when I went to Curtis to, as a tradition, shake his hand and hang out with him before the race, he said, "Hey, stay right here." He said, "There's a big name."
I was going to say Michael Jordan. Is it Michael Jordan?
No. Well, this was Bill Murray.
No.
This was Bill Murray, first of all, who came by to say hello and got to shake his hand and talk to him a little bit. And then, go ahead, man.
You didn't even let me guess. It was Michael Jordan.
Well,
was Jordan here?
Michael Jordan was in the house at Worldwide Technology Raceway on yesterday.
What was he doing here?
I got word of it, and usually nothing escapes me, but I got word of it that it was happening, and they brought him in. He is a co-owner of 2311, the race team that Denny Hamlin and Tyler Reddick and Bubba Wallace are all part of that team. In fact, there's a lawsuit going on right now. It's a whole other story with NASCAR where they want to be a chartered team, meaning they get to have a team guaranteed spot for every race. And there's a big battle going on. I don't want to get into the weeds on that. But anyway, Jordan was there. And I think partly because Denny Hamlin was the pole sitter and had a great car. So they knew that he had a shot to win it, and Wallace as well. But Jordan came in. He had a spot in one of those chalets. Basically, I think he pretty much bought the whole chalet. And then
where'd he get the money?
He was in and out of there pretty quickly. But I think that's cool. You just never know who's going to be sharing time with you over at the raceway. If you're a fan, Michael Jordan, even though he wasn't out signing autographs or anything, just knowing that he was in St. Louis and was in the house, I think is great. It was a star-studded event from a race car standpoint, those drivers, and Hamlin did win. Great event. They sold it out. Congratulations to them. And just the whole weekend of activity here in St. Louis. Stiefel Charity Classic. You had Bernhard Langer and Ernie Els and some of the best golfers of all time up in North County. These great drivers in the Metro East. You had City playing, the Bronze Boot playing with the SLU and SIU, and the Hall of Fame weekend for the Cardinals, not to mention Mizzou, KU.
The 85 guys here,
yeah,
the
all the
40-year
85
reunion.
guys. It's just one of those weekends that you just appreciate what we have here in St. Louis. Yes, we want Busch Stadium to be full again and start winning championships, but I understand, and I was not there because I was at the NASCAR race. That crowd yesterday was pretty good, actually, at Busch Stadium. Not packed, not full, but lively. Lots of kids, lots of fun. The box score listed at 29,923. That's better. But, you know, we'll get the crowds back eventually. We've already illustrated how that needs to go down. They need to win. I mean,
gotta win.
People around it. This isn't like, you know, I saw something where Colorado, where Coors Field, they're like, you know, they're putting 45,000 people in there. That's a totally different crowd. They're just there to have fun, sit outside and drink beers and hang out. In St. Louis, they are accustomed to winning. And so this is out of protest. They want things changed. They're going to continue to watch the team from afar. But if you want them back filling the seats, you got to give them a product.
And you may not even have to give them a winner necessarily right now, as long as you give them a plan that they believe in. If you give Cardinals fans the feeling that they are moving in the right direction, I don't know that you, like, if they've got good young talent that people want to come out to watch, and there is this trust that what they're doing moving forward is going to take them back to where they were 10, 15 years ago, I think you'll get people back to the ballpark. It may not be, 42,000 people every night, but it won't be 17. It won't be 18. You'll get people out to the ballpark to watch an organization they feel like is headed the right direction.
The Cardinals are a 500 team right now. It's 72-72. They will play the Mariners tonight at 8:40. So get your rest. I want you all to. I have to pay attention to the game. I don't care how early.
And you got to get up early.
I don't care. It's Ollie Marmol's on the show tomorrow.
That's
Plus,
right.
I think a guest coach. We may be going right back down the road we were last Tuesday, where a coach takes us behind the scenes and tells us how he really feels.
I love that.
That's tomorrow. I don't know who the coach is yet. Ollie's going to tell me at some point tonight. But Cardinals and Mariners. Matt Pauly will have Sports Open Line leading in for Chris Ranji. I'm Tom Ackerman. Thanks for joining us on the Gashouse Gang.
Don't get low.